What's going on, everybody? This is Gen716, aka Gen Sports, back here again. And today, I want to quickly recap the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going against the Kansas City Chiefs. This was one hell of a game. Of course, it started off pretty ugly, at least for the Buccaneers, but they finished the game really, really strong. They didn't end up winning the game. This game definitely belonged to the Kansas City Chiefs, but this was a epic clash and a much better effort, I would say, from the Buccaneers going against a pretty good team for once. Just talking about this game real quick, Patrick Mahomes proves once again why he's the best quarterback in football. Tyreek Hill shows why. I know a lot of people have kind of been sleeping on Tyreek Hill this season because it's not as flashy as we've seen in the past, but he's kind of reminded everybody why he's one of the best receivers in football. I mean, the fact that he had over 200 receiving yards in the first half is crazy. It's ridiculous. He ended up finishing the game with 269 yards. I think he had around 3 touchdown receptions. But Tyreek Hill is a beast, man. I mean, he is just showing everybody why he's one of the best receivers in the league. And, his speed, his quickness, and just his route running overall, just that combination of all those things, it just puts together just the ultimate receiver, the ultimate pound-for-pound receiver. And, man, if you're a Kansas City Chiefs fan, you are just... I don't know. I don't know if you guys were worried about Tyreek Hill. I don't know, because again, we haven't seen those the flashiness, those long vertical bombs that we normally see Patrick Mahomes to the Patrick Mahomes to Tyreek Hill connection. But this game, we saw it today, and then we saw some more. I mean, this was just man, it was nuts. It was ridiculous. And the fact that Tyreek Hill was doing backflips in the end zone, showing up the peace signs against these Buccaneer defenders, it was just, oh my goodness. But if you're a Buccaneers fan, you got to be disappointed, at least in the first half, with the effort of your defense. Again, Patrick Mahomes was barely getting pressure. The secondary was just out of position. The communication was off. There was some busted coverages here and there, but they just couldn't. But overall wise, even if everything worked out, they just couldn't hang with these receivers. Whether it was Demarcus Robinson, Sammy Watkins, Hill, Travis Kelce, who was pretty much a mismatch all day against these Buccaneer defenders, and he was going against guys like Levante David and Devin White, and they still couldn't handle him. Right? They put some safeties on him, some slot corners on him. I mean, they just nothing worked going against Travis Kelce. Again, the pressure on Patrick Mahomes was off. I mean, we didn't see Shaquille Barrett. Shaquille Barrett was probably the only person in the first half that... No, I'll say that. Jason Pierre-Paul was also getting some pressure. But the interior pass rush was just stuffed today by that Kansas City Chiefs offensive line. Just no pass rush at all. I think the only good thing that they did all game was the fact that they stopped the run. I feel like that's the only thing they did well today, was that they stopped the run. But that's the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers have kind of been like that the last couple of years now, where they've been a really, really good run stuffing unit. But overall wise, I mean, the pass defense was god awful in this football game today. Especially in the first half, where Tyreek Hill had over 200 yards receiving. I mean, it was just ridiculous. And here's the thing about this. Patrick Mahomes could have had over 500 passing yards if it wasn't for Mecole Hardman dropping that touchdown. Mecole Hardman was wide open in the middle. I don't know if it was it might have been an inside post, but he was wide open in the middle, and he dropped damn near the touchdown. Because if he's catching that ball, his speed, he's going to the end zone. If not best case scenario for the Buccaneers, it's just a huge chunk for 50 or maybe 60 yards. But that was definitely a missed opportunity for Mecole Hardman. I mean, he dropped that pass. It was just, I'm like, what? Come on, Mecole Hardman. But anyway, I mean, this was a game that it just kind of felt like it was just going in the Chiefs' direction the entire time, even prior. Because the Buccaneers, they have trouble beating good teams. I mean, that's just the facts. Now, the Buccaneers, granted, they did beat the Buccaneers. I mean, they did beat the Packers. They destroyed the Packers. I remember that game. But besides that, they lost to the Saints a couple of times. I forgot who else they lost to. I actually did a video on it, so it's actually kind of pissing me off now. I actually forgot. Maybe you guys can let me know who else they lost to in the comment section. That was a good team. But then you lose to the Chiefs. They struggled with the Giants. The Rams, I'm sorry. Yeah, they lost to the Rams. I mean, they've just lost to just good teams. They're 1-4 against good teams. So they got to get their stuff together because the Buccaneers want to make a Super Bowl push. They have got to win against these type of teams. And again, I love the effort from the Buccaneers defense, what they were able to do in the second half, and Brady was finally able to find his rhythm in the second half. I mean, Gronk was able to get going. Mike Evans was starting to get a little bit more involved. Chris Godwin was finally a huge asset as far as the game plan for the Buccaneers. Ronald Jones was like the only one for 4 quarters that was pretty consistent for the most part. I feel like the pass blocking unit was also better in the second half. But where was this? Where was this in the first half? If this, where was this in the first half? Because if the Buccaneers would have played like that in the first half, I mean, who knows? The Buccaneers is probably winning this football game, and they're 8-4, and you're still in that. You're not in the driver's seat, but you're still in it with the Saints, at least for the division. So, this was just a disappointing effort for the Buccaneers, 7-5. Again, I give the defense some credit because they did step up in the second half and they did a much better job against Mahomes. But when the game mattered the most, which was the last 3 to 4 minutes of the football game after the Buccaneers score with Mike Evans, they couldn't do anything. Patrick Mahomes just did whatever the hell he wanted to do, and with the time being under 5 minutes. So yeah, this was just a disappointing effort from the Buccaneers. As far as this was probably one of the more important games of your season, as far as kind of setting you up for the playoffs and setting up where you want to be as far as the seed wise, but. This is just the story of the Buccaneers, man. They just struggle with good teams, and they got to find a way to do better against it. Now, looking at the Buccaneers' schedule, the schedule should be a little bit more easier for them. Of course, the Falcons are now finding the rhythm as well. They just blown out the Oakland Raiders 43-6, and they play them twice. The Buccaneers play the Falcons twice, so they got to do better. They got to do a much better job, but. Again, at the end of the day, that's just going to be talked about the most is that Brady and this football team with all that talent continues to struggle against some of the better teams in football. And if they don't get their stuff together quickly by the time the playoffs is going to happen, they're just going to lose in the first round. So they got to find a way to try to get through it. But to the Chiefs, they just show why they're the best team in football. Too much talent, too much firepower, and the coaching is also there as well. I mean, they're just the best team of football at this point. Again, the Steelers are undefeated. I get it, but if the Chiefs played against the Steelers, I'm taking the Chiefs all day to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think at this point, we all know the Chiefs are the best team in football. The Steelers might have the better record, but the Chiefs, we all know are the best team right now in the NFL. But anyway, guys, if you guys like this video, make sure to hit the like button. Also, to subscribe, hit the notification bell, especially if you want more NFL weekly recaps. Definitely helps out my channel. Lets me know that you guys want to see more of me. And again, that just makes me happy overall. So anyway, guys, this is Gen 716, aka Gen Sports. Have a good night. Peace.